There is no one better to talk about the city than the Mayor of Greater Manchester. Please join me in welcoming me, Andy Burnham.
Thank you very much, Georgie. When I get back to the office, I'm going to write a memo to my team. If I'm ever on the running order again with Leigh Cisse, make sure, for God's sake, that I go first. Wasn't that amazing? Really, wasn't it? What an amazing thing. I think, as Georgie said, a cultural hero, not just of Manchester, but of Atherton and Leigh as well. So we love you, and really, you couldn't have been more Manchester in the way that you inspired us just then, Leigh. I mean, in many ways, that phrase, it could actually, well, it could be aimed at all of us, but could definitely be aimed at your mayor who was born down the M62. So I take it on board, be more Manchester. I will do my best, I promise. I am doing my best. I'm just so proud to be the mayor of this place. And for these people, as Leigh said, we did see a poem galvanize a city, the words lifted people when they most needed it. But actually, it was the voice of people coming back to them. It was an amazing thing. I've never seen anything like it, actually, standing behind Tony Walsh that night. But it was that moment where the soul of the place was kind of reconnected to the people, and really it did. It moved people in a way that is just hard to describe, and what really is what we're all about, a deep humanity expressed through our creativity. That's being more Manchester. So what to say today? I'm going to reveal these figures to you in a moment from the Nesta Creative Nation report commissioned by Creative England. But let me just start with a little on my journey here. It's great to see the chair of Creative England here today, my old friend John Newbigin, going back to 1999, I think it was. I arrived as the new sports advisor in the office alongside John, who was the established advisor to the then culture secretary, Chris Smith. But we were privileged, John, weren't we, both of us, to work with Chris. And at that time, John was working on something which, it kind of seems strange to say it now, but it was only 20 or so years ago that this happened. The first ever document that mapped the creative industries of our country. The first time that your industry had been taken seriously as an industrial sector of the country, only 20 years ago. Just think about that. Think about the change that has come in that time. But one of the things I wanted to say to you today is, I don't think as a society we're valuing creativity, myself. I'm not just talking about creative arts, or I am talking about that, about art, about music, about dance, about poetry. I am talking about that. But I'm also talking about, if you like, the Ken Robinson theory, that creativity is something that should be applied to all challenges. You teach people to think openly and creatively. And I think that's what the modern world is asking of us now, certainly asking of our young people. But what's happening, the education system is going in exactly the opposite direction. It's becoming backward looking, all about tests and learning facts and sort of learning to spout them back at the right time. I think we need creativity in our curriculum if we're to rise to the challenge of the modern economy. That's what Manchester wants. That's why we've got devolution, so that we can let our voice come through and shape those national debates. And we are saying we want more ability to help develop the young people of Greater Manchester, to give them those creative skills that they're going to need, whatever job that they go on to do. We have a belief here in the power of culture, the power of creativity, to give individuals hope, but also to regenerate whole communities. I want to show you that through the decision that we've just taken as a Greater Manchester Combined Authority. We've just committed to £7 million investment in our cultural organisations over the next 2 years, a small increase. I think you'll find it hard to see any other part of the country that is acting in that way at the moment, because we see that bigger picture. I don't have to persuade our council leaders to do that. They believe it too. They believe everything that Leigh Cisse just said. They are sold. They see it, they feel it. And that's why we're doing that. We want this to be a journey for all of Greater Manchester. So I'm going to shortly announce in a few weeks' time our plans for a town of culture based on the UK City of Culture, which I brought through as Culture Secretary. You know, let's not just think about the big city centre getting everything. You know, think about kids like Lem all those years ago who don't feel this place is for them. Let's take activity out to them. Let's take the incredible power of our cultural organisations out to those smaller places. And that's why we're going to have a Greater Manchester Town of Culture in the next few years. So we believe in it. This place has invested in it. You know, we won't always get everything right when you look at us as political leaders, but in this way we have got something right. We created, through Manchester City Council, the Manchester International Festival, one of the biggest and best in Europe at commissioning new work and bringing it to new audiences. This building, soon to be the factory, that will bring together a whole range of cultural activity and have a particular focus on creative skills for young people, a massive investment in the heart of our city. And because of that, let me bring you now to these figures, because I think we can be proud of these figures, not just us as people in the political world, but you, because this is what you have done. This is what you have achieved. I think they entitle us to say that Manchester is the creative capital of our country. Certainly if you say outside of London, no question. The figures say we have the most creative employment and creative businesses outside London, which it is estimated contribute £1.46 billion to our local economy, which is 3.74% of our total GVA. Are you all still with me? You're all taking this down. It shows the thriving creative industries of Greater Manchester, now this is a very impressive figure, have grown at a rate of 18.21% over the last couple of years. Higher than the national average of 11%, more than 3 times the rate for other industries. Our creative industries are now employing 48,515 people, an increase of 18.2%. What other sectors of the economy can point to such growth in such high-value industries and jobs? And that equates to 7,500 new jobs, 9,183 creative businesses, an increase of 1,600. But look, at these figures are amazing, and they should give us all great confidence that we are doing the right thing, but actually that we can go even further if we work together. We will back you as creative businesses. I want here to develop an alternative approach to the national government approach. We're talking about a curriculum for life here in Greater Manchester, where we give young people those skills that the traditional curriculum is not giving to them, that wider support, that mental health support that they need. We are going to bring through a UCAS-style system for apprenticeships. We want young people who are not on the university route to have the same clarity about what is out there for them, so that they can be connected to opportunity in the same way that people on the academic route are connected. And I want your businesses to bring forward those opportunities so that we can inspire the younger generation of Greater Manchester and give them the confidence that they can work in your industries. Because let's remember, that is still tough for some of them. They're not born with the feeling that they could work in industries like yours. And we've got to give them that confidence. You know, it's perhaps deep in the DNA of many people in Greater Manchester that they don't have those aspirations that they can work in sectors like yours. And I think it's our job collectively to give them that confidence, that belief in themselves that these industries are for them too. So we want to work with you on that journey, and with the Arts Council, who've made an incredible commitment to Manchester over the next funding period. And I think that is again a reflection of what we have done as a city region. And it should give us all the sense that there is something massive to build on here. So I just wanted to be here today to say, you know, that this report gives me great pride, but it also says to me it's now time to do even more and go even further. We're only scratching the surface. As you heard in that video, I think this is our moment We have a better devolution deal here than anywhere else in the country. And that's been built by years of hard work at relationships between public and private sectors, really becoming pragmatic in the way that we work. That's been that Manchester spirit. Radical pragmatism, as I call it, really kind of working with big social ambitions. I've just come to you today from our plan to tackle rough sleeping in Greater Manchester by 2020, where we're getting all of Greater Manchester behind it, and a new business network who are committing to help us in that drive. And I would ask you all as businesses to sign up to that. That is what we're all about. The way we've built this place has put us at the forefront of devolution in England. We have an opportunity in this moment to go further and faster than anywhere else. People are talking about this place in terms of what we're doing. And now's the moment to really press home at that advantage, to kind of break through the national negativity about Brexit and send a positive message out that this is the place where things are happening. This is the place where you can get things done. This is the place where if you've got an idea, you've got a talent, that people will back you and support you, as you heard in the video. That's the Manchester spirit. That makes me very proud. I know we all feel the same. So why don't we just seize this moment that we're in and get on and make it happen. Thanks very much for being here today. Thank you very much indeed for listening.